Cyrus takes Babylon, the Cyrus cylinder. This Jewish text confirms Cyrus that he was chosen by the supreme God to liberate Babylon. An interesting detail is that line contains an old prediction of the coming of a special anointed one. Sing, O heavens, for the Lord has done it. Shout, you lower parts of the earth, break forth into singing, you mountains, O forest, and every tree in it. For the Lord has redeemed Jacob, and glorified himself in Israel. Thus says the Lord, your Redeemer, and he who formed you from the womb. I am the Lord, who makes all things, who stretches out the heavens all alone, who spreads abroad the earth by myself, who frustrates the signs of the babblers, and drives diviners mad, who turns wise men backward, and makes their knowledge foolishness, who confirms the word of his servant, and performs the counsel of his messengers, who says to Jerusalem, you shall be inhabited, to the cities of Judah, you shall be built, and will raise up her waste places, who says to the deep, be dry, and will dry up your rivers, who says of Cyrus, he is my shepherd, and he shall perform all my pleasure, saying to Jerusalem, you shall be built, and to the temple, your foundation shall be laid. Thus says the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have held, to subdue nations before him and loose the armor of kings, to open before him the double doors, so that the gates will not be shut. I will go before you and make the crooked places straight. I will break in pieces the gates of bronze and cut the bars of iron. I will give you the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places, so that you may know that I, the Lord, who call you by your name, am the God of Israel. For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel my elect, I have even called you by your name, I have named you, though you have not known me. I am the Lord, and there is no other, there is no God besides me. I will gird you, though you have not known me, that they may know from the rising of the sun to its setting that there is none besides me. I am the Lord, and there is no other. I form the light and create darkness, I make peace and create calamity, I, the Lord, do all these things. Rain down, you heavens, from above, and let the skies pour down righteousness, let the earth open, let them bring forth salvation, and let righteousness spring up together. I, the Lord, have created it. Ezra. The following lines in the book of Ezra refer to a decree by Cyrus. It is unclear whether this is the true wording of the decree, but it may be authentic. We may compare the decree to Cyrus' own statement that he gathered many people and returned them to their former habitations. The prophecy of Jeremiah that is referred to, is Jeremiah, where it is stated that the Jews would return after 70 years. In fact, the Babylonian exile lasted from 587 when the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar had captured Jerusalem until 539. 1.1 In the first year of Cyrus king of Persia, in order to fulfill the word of the Lord spoken by Jeremiah, the Lord moved the heart of Cyrus king of Persia to make a proclamation throughout his realm and put it in writing. 1.2 This is what Cyrus king of Persia says, the Lord, the God of heaven, has given me all the kingdoms of the earth and has appointed me to build a temple for him at Jerusalem in Judah. 1.3 Any one of his people among you, may his God be with him, and let him go up to Jerusalem in Judah and build the temple of the Lord, the God of Israel, the God who is in Jerusalem. 1.4 And the people of any place where they may still be living are to provide them with silver and gold, with goods, and livestock, and with freewill offerings for the temple of God in Jerusalem. 1.5 Then the family heads of Judah and Benjamin, and the priests and Levites, everyone whose heart God had moved, prepared to go up and build the house of the Lord in Jerusalem. 1.6 All their neighbors assisted them with articles of silver and gold, with goods, and livestock, and with valuable gifts, in addition to all the freewill offerings. 1.7 Moreover, King Cyrus brought out the articles belonging to the temple of the Lord, which Nebuchadnezzar had carried away from Jerusalem and had placed in the temple of his god, i.e., Marduk. 1.8 Cyrus king of Persia had them brought by Mithridates the treasurer, who counted them out to Sheshbazzar the prince of Judah. In October 539 BCE, the Persian king Cyrus took Babylon, the ancient capital of an oriental empire covering modern Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Israel. In a broader sense, Babylon was the ancient world's capital of scholarship and science. The subject provinces soon recognized Cyrus as their legitimate ruler. Since he was already lord of peripheral regions in modern Turkey and Iran, it is not exaggerated to say that the conquest of Babylonia meant the birth of a true world empire. The Achaemenid Empire was to last for more than 2 centuries, until it was divided by the successors of the Macedonian king Alexander the Great. A remarkable aspect of the capture of Babylon is the fact that Cyrus allowed the Jews, who were exiled in Babylonia, to return home. Cyrus cylinder in this text, a clay cylinder now in the British Museum, Cyrus describes how he conquers the old city. Nabonidus is considered a tyrant with strange religious ideas, which causes the god Marduk to intervene. That Cyrus thought of himself as chosen by a supreme god, is confirmed by 2 Isaiah. His claim that he entered the city without struggle corroborates the same statement in the Chronicle of Nabonidus. The tyranny of Nabonidus 1-8 When of the 4 quarters. An incompetent person, i.e., Nabonidus, was installed to exercise lordship over his country. He imposed upon them. An imitation of Esagila he made, and for Ur and the rest of the cultic centers, a ritual which was improper to them, an unholy display offering without fear he daily recited. Irreverently, he put an end to the regular offerings and he interfered in the cultic centers, he established in the sacred centers. By his own plan, he did away with the worship of Marduk, the king of the gods. He continually did evil against Marduk's city. Daily, without interruption, he imposed the corvée upon its inhabitants unrelentingly, ruining them all. Marduk's anger 9-11 Upon hearing their cries, the Lord of the gods became furiously angry and their borders, the gods who lived among them forsook their dwellings, angry that he sc. Nabonidus had brought them to Babylon. Marduk, the exalted, the Lord of the gods, turned towards all the habitations that were abandoned and all the people of Sumer and Akkad, who had become corpses. He was reconciled and had mercy upon them. Marduk finds a new king for Babylon. 11-14 Marduk surveyed and looked throughout the lands, searching for a righteous king, his favorite. He called out his name, Cyrus, king of Anshan. He pronounced his name to be king all over the world. He made the land of Gutium and all the Umanmanda, i.e., the Medes, bow in submission at his feet. And he Cyrus shepherded with justice and righteousness all the black-headed people, over whom he, i.e., Marduk, had given him victory. Marduk, the great lord, guardian of his people, looked with gladness upon his good deeds and upright heart. Cyrus takes Babylon. 15-19 He ordered him to go to his city Babylon. He set him on the road to Babylon, and like a companion and a friend, he went at his side. His vast army, whose number, like water of the river, cannot be known, marched at his side fully armed. He made him enter his city Babylon without fighting or battle. He saved Babylon from hardship. He delivered Nabonidus, the king who did not revere him, into his hands. All the people of Babylon, all the land of Sumer and Akkad, princes and governors, bowed to him and kissed his feet. They rejoiced at his kingship and their faces shone. Lord, by whose aid the dead were revived and who had all been redeemed from hardship and difficulty, they greeted him with gladness and praised his name. Cyrus titles 20-22a I am Cyrus, King of the world, Great King, Mighty King, King of Babylon, King of Sumer and Akkad, King of the Four Quarters, the son of Cambyses, Great King, King of Anshan, grandson of Cyrus, Great King, King of Anshan, descendant of Tispes, Great King, King of Anshan, of an eternal line of kingship, whose rule Bel and Nebu love, whose kingship they desire for their heart's pleasure.